Hey, what's going on? It's your man B Swift. Want to welcome you back to another episode of B Swift's Guys Guide. Today we are inside of Eskenazi Health, who is my partner with Guys Guide, right here on 38th, East 38th Street, right on the corner of 38th and Arlington. And today I'm sitting with Dr. Rhyant. How are you today?
Hey, I'm great. Great, B Swift. Great to be with you. Great to be here out on this day. We're having a health fair and see a lot of the community coming out, and it's always excited to get a chance to, have the community out, connect with those we serve.
No, absolutely. And I know one thing we've talked about, because we've talked in the past, we talk a lot about health being wealth, right?
Yes.
And we're getting a chance to see that as you guys are offering so much free screening why is it important for the community first off?
Well, number one, anytime that you can focus on the things that are, health, like you said, health as well, focusing on your health, that's where everything begins. So anytime you can get connected, get educated, invest in that area of your life, that's the most important thing that you can do. And that's what we're here to do as Eskenazi. So as you said, we have health screenings out here, we have blood pressure screenings, we have vaccinations that people are getting. So it's really good to see the community come out and just really focus on their health.
No, and I think that's dope. And one thing I want to talk to you about today, and we've talked about this last year, right? It seems like us young black men, not even women, us young black men, once we turn 18, we leave our parents, we leave the checkups because we got to go to school, so we got to go to the doctor. We want to play sports, we have to get a physical. We forget about this place until something happens. And then it's like, oh man, my foot hurts so bad I can't walk no more. Let me just go to the emergency room. Why is it important for someone like myself, you know what I mean, to have a primary care physician?
All right, absolutely. So B Swift, the importance of having a primary care physician is that primary care physicians are pretty much the entryway into other areas of your health. But we always start with the number one thing, which is forming a relationship. So to have somebody that has a relationship with you, that knows you for you, but also knows how to navigate through an increasingly complicated healthcare system, that's invaluable. And the further you do that, the more immediate you do that. If you do it at 18 and you create those relationships, the more valuable it becomes as you get older in your life and start to encounter different healthcare problems. Because you don't have as many early on in your life as you might have later on. So it's good to establish that relationship early, particularly when there's, maybe not much going on.
Right. And I know for me, like I say, doctors just scare me, right?
Sure.
Like coming up as a kid, I seen some things where I was like, every time they went to the doctor, it was bad news or they didn't come back. So I don't know if that's something I want to do, you know what I mean? And
totally.
as I've gotten older, it's become a thing. Like I'll tell anybody one reason I'm scared of you guys, I'm scared of needles. Like we gotta have, before you give me a shot, we gotta have an amazing conversation because I don't want you to treat me like a cheap one and just stick me and then move on. Like, do you find those type of patients, in the healthcare, and how do you help work through that to gain the trust?
Well, absolutely. I think each one of those situations is a different situation. And so I've seen it personally very commonly. People will have their own life experience. And what we find is our community, we have different life experiences with healthcare. Right. Some have been very good over the past, and some, quite frankly, have not been so good. So whenever we encounter an individual or anybody that comes particularly to meet me, what you're always having to take into account is what has been their experience in the past. And wherever they've been in the past, that actually sets the foundation for your relationship current state. And what you're trying to do is just move people forward on that continuum. And you move it forward with trust, you move it forward with, just developing that relationship over time where people become more confident, more trusting of the communication, the information you're providing, and they take that information and in that relationship, they're able to make better decisions for their health.
That's dope right there. Now, for someone who's watching this and they're like, you know what, I need to do better. I have a child, I have a family that I want to see grow old. What are some of the things that they need to do first coming into the healthcare system, coming in to see you as a physician or whoever their physician is, right? Might be their first or second. Is there a certain thing you say, all right, first few visits you might want to take care of this versus going too deep in to get comfortable?
Sure. Well, I think, the number one thing like we talked about is getting a relationship. And the first thing we always do is we always try to listen to what the patient wants to have done. Okay. Because you're really directing your care. So if you have a question, you have a concern, you can always prioritize the things that you feel are the most important. So for example, if a child would come in and their mom or their father would come with, to them at that appointment, they might just want to make sure that their immunizations are up to date or their vaccine status up to date so they can attend school and go to school. So we'll start there. But in that part of it, serving that need, there's other opportunities where we might talk about things like, preventative things when they go into school, like school anxiety or, bullying at school. So that's something for the child, but you always start with what the patient wants, and then you move on to meeting those other needs, and you can always do the both end. That's what primary care physicians are all about, that relationship. As you get older, and we'll just talk about black males, number one, you taking care of your own health is really foundational to you be able to take care and speak into the lives and provide for your family. So what we talk about there is a lot of preventative things that you would think that wouldn't be necessary.
Right.
But what we do is we have a way of knowing for your age, your particular background, what the things are that would be recommended for your age. And we usually always start there. If you don't have a focus and you say, I just want to have a checkup, we usually have a script that we go from, that we have, and we just implement that script, so to speak.
I need to see that script. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure I book this appointment before we leave today so I can come and go through, because I know I need it, right?
Yes, yeah.
Now, you hear something that I want to talk about, black men, right?
Yeah.
Black males.
Yeah.
Are there things that we ignore when it comes to our health until it's too late that maybe we should be on early?
Absolutely. The truth is, I think you just start off with the basic. Actually schedule an appointment. We can trivialize that, but if you just schedule an appointment, you're gonna be way ahead of the game.
Right.
All right, so now from there, it is those conversations around preventative health screening. So for example, checking your blood pressure, things as simple as, do you smoke, do you drink, do you do any other things that may not seem like they're harmful in the current state, but we can give you advice on how to make different decisions about those things in the long-term sense. And then from there, it just kind of continues to go on. As you get older, there's cancer screenings that need to occur. You've heard of probably many of them. Colon cancer, very prominent, but something that we can detect very early in our, the population, and we can take care of. We even have lung cancer screening. And then we can have discussions around what are some of the things that their parents might have had, maybe prostate cancer. We can talk about those things. And it's more in that relationship, more in those discussions that we can implement those screenings at a time. And screening is something when you detect a disease at a moment in time where you can do something about it. It's not detecting it too late. It's detecting it at a time you can actually do something about it. And the earlier you detect cancers and things like that, by far the better the prognosis is. So we always want to hit those things early.
Okay, now I'm gonna come back to that, but it's something I do want to jump to.
Yeah.
When we talk us, right?
Yeah.
One thing we hear, and I ain't heard it in a long time because my grandmother, she's no longer here, but we used to talk about the sugars.
Yes.
The diabetes.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
How important is that? Because like for me, I eat a lot of junk. I won't sit here and lie to you. I love candy. I think I'm addicted to it, right?
Yes, sir.
But I've always told myself, like, I need to go get this checked. But my whole thing is going to get it checked.
Yeah.
I don't want to end up, bro, you got to take this shot. Because I'm terrified of needles and I just don't believe I want to take this. But why is that important for us? Because I feel like it's a silent killer for us.
It is. Well, okay, so you talked about the silent killer, and I get to the sugar. Blood pressure is known as, hypertension is known as the silent killer. So we even have screening here available today. If which
I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, people have a chance. Go ahead and get that done. Now to get to the sugars. Back when your grandma was maybe having diabetes, there was an approach. There was her life experience and what she knew about diabetes. And now we're at a different era, different age. We can actually screen you very early to see if you're at risk for diabetes. And again, the moment we can detect that you're at risk, we can start to implement what we call life changes, life practices. Things as simple as exercise, simple as things as eating differently, and taking those life practices and applying them can actually prevent the onset of diabetes. And let's even go further. So we want to prevent it, that's the first thing. But even if we get to the point where we got to treat it, that's where it's wonderful to be living in 2025.
Because I don't want the insulin.
Yeah, because many of the things that we used to have to do with needle, there are really good medications that are not needles. That you can start off with, and that can actually help you take care of that disease.
That's dope. So, that's good to know, because I'm always the one that, put the candy down.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm eat all this gummy worms, y'all leave me alone. And then my mom's like, hey boy, you really need it. And I'm like, nah, because if they tell me I got to do this, and I'm going to be upset because I'm probably not going to follow it and want to be rebellious and do it my way.
I totally get it.
Like, so, all right, so we're going to talk about that.
We work with
offline.
you. We work with you. And again, it's not so much a rigid formula, but there are principles in a menu of options, both medication, but increasingly more life practices. Again, things as simple as exercise, things as simple as nutrition. Those are very powerful tools to help mitigate and prevent the things that we don't want. And here at Eskenazi, we really focus a lot on those life practices. We have something called lifestyle medicine, and we have like nutritionists, and we have group visits that help focus on those things.
Oh, that's dope right there. Okay, now I want to go back to the cancers. We talked about the colon and things like this.
Yes, sir.
How important, I guess, or what age should most people start looking at that? Like, 'cause I know that's something that you need to come get checked on. I know my father called like, how old are you? You go get it done. I'm like, I don't think I'm old enough yet, old man. Calm down. Like, you know what I mean? But he's big on it because I know he had some problems with something. I don't remember what it was. And he like, yo, I really need you to be on this because I had this and I don't want you to go through this. So is there a time frame in when we should look at certain cancer checks?
Well, simply to answer your question, yes. And at times, medicine can be difficult because there might be one, I'm gonna use the word task force or recommendation that might be at a certain age and others at a different age. So I'm gonna speak for the earliest age. Right now, I think one of the key differences is colorectal cancer screening used to be recommended starting at the age of 50.
Right.
Now it's really changed, it's moved back to the age of 45.
Okay.
So that's really, I think, a key change that a lot of people might not know about. But the great thing about that is that there's both tests that actually take a camera and can look all the way around your colon, but we also have tests that you can provide a stool sample and make it very easy, where you can, it's very easy to go ahead and screen for that colon cancer. And again, the earlier you find it, the better off you are. So that's about age 45. And then we do have lung cancer screening as well, but those are people that have smoked a certain period of time. Usually, and I'm gonna use a term, a combination, it's almost like 20-pack year history. That's like 20 years of smoking about one pack per day. These recommendations can change, but in general, if you smoked a lot, we do have lung cancer screening for those individuals that meet that particular standard. I can keep going on about it, but I think the most important thing that you're talking about and that we're gonna always fall back to is to have those relationships. Because in the relationship, in that annual, continual relationship, your physician, and it can be a physician, we have actually physician assistants, we have nurse practitioners, but your healthcare professional, no matter what the updates are and what recommendations on preventing cancer, they're going to be aware of that and they're going to be able to customize it to your individual history.
Dope.
Because it does change depending on your risk factors as well.
That makes sense right there. And I want to talk about this place, right? Because this is such, being here, I come out here a couple times a year. It's such a homey place. And somebody just jumped on the piano not too long ago and just started playing. How great is it here in the people? Because it just seems like everybody is so friendly. Everybody is so accommodating. You want to see everybody. Y'all got kitchen over here, cooking demonstrations and so much.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about this place.
Well, the Thomas and Arlene Grandy, Health Center complex or campus. Number one, it's a place that really, when we looked at creating it or developing it, a lot of the community's input was there. So when you say it's like it seems very homey and people seem to be in comfort here, it's because a lot of their input, a lot of their feedback was used to create it. The color schemes, a lot of the art that you see here that are in the lobby, it was really generated by them, that feedback. So they've been a huge part in constructing it. And then, what you hear about, how our staff are to our patients and everybody you meet are so friendly, that's part of who we've always been. So that's not like a new thing, but I think it may be enhanced by the facility, that feeling, that care of, we belong and that connectedness, but also it's our mission to serve the population that we serve.
Listen, you guys do an amazing job watching the kids come in and go out, the adults come in, the elderly, like everybody just loves this place and just the community day. I mean, when you look at what you're offering, baby food and formula for the community to come and have for free, which is a need, and the black and brown population is being served.
All of them.
It's like amazing to see that, right?
No, I appreciate you saying that. And that's what we strive for, to serve everyone and give them the health care that they deserve. Not what we think they need, but they deserve. And much of it occurs within these four walls, but increasingly so we're reaching outside the four walls, back into the community.
Yeah.
And that's part of what this day is about, is to connect with the community, build relationships outside the four walls. So people that never come in and create a relationship with healthcare professionals like myself, they can understand that Eskenazi is really there for the community and serving the community as well.
Listen, you guys do a great job. I appreciate you for taking some time and having this well-needed conversation.
Sure.
If people want to schedule an appointment, not with just you or anybody here, maybe they're like, you know what, I need a physician, not for me, but maybe for my kids or for the whole entire family. Yeah. How can they get in the Eskenazi system?
We try to lower that bar as easy as possible, right? Because we want to take care of the population. We want to take care of people. So there's a telephone number. I'll give you that, 317-880-6002.
Okay.
And then and I guess I need to speak nowadays. You can go online, go to the Eskenazi Health, website, and there's plenty of information on, however you like communicating. We try to make that as easy as possible.
Listen, I love it. And everybody out there that's watching this, we encourage you to stop by. We encourage you to find you a physician. Dr. Ryan is here. He has a whole lot of other colleagues here that are ready to help. It's almost like watching this is like taking a loved one to the doctor day, right? If you know somebody who hasn't been in a while, time to get them there. Like I say, for me, health is wealth, right? I want to see my daughter graduate high school.
Absolutely.
I want to see her get married.
Absolutely.
I want to have a grandchild. I want to
spoil
her. I want to spoil my grandchild like my dad does mine, right?
Yeah,
where she just gets to have the world and do whatever she wants, and I used to get yelled at for the same thing.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I love it.
That's what it's about. Dr. Ryan, B Swift. This is another episode of B Swift's Guy's Guide. We are live inside of Eskenazi Health on 38th and Arlington right here. Please stop by. It's all in partnership with Eskenazi.